My name is Sally Martin. I'm 35 years old. I've been married to Harry for 3 years, and we both work. We haven't been blessed with children, and to be honest, our relationship hasn't been going well. We tried to mend things, but nothing worked out. Why did you cheat on me with my best friend? Did you grow to hate me that much? One day, I was betrayed by my husband. Why are you traveling far during such a tough time? Come back home soon. It's been 3 years since we got married. I've been struggling with our relationship. Welcome home. Ah, I'm home. My husband replied in a low voice. He greeted me, not with joy, but with reluctance. As if he was responding to someone he disliked. You've been acting kind of cold lately, what's up? It's none of your business. I'm having a tough time at work. If work is tough, you can talk to me about it. Talking to you, Sally, won't solve anything. I'll figure it out myself. And so, for some reason, our relationship became more strained after marriage. Before we got married, he never treated me so coldly. After getting married, we stopped going on dates altogether, and I felt like nothing more than a housekeeper. I felt like a stranger in my own home, not a family member. Then, one day, I stumbled upon something shocking. I happened to look through my husband's phone. The person he was emailing was my best friend, Anna. Hey, Harry. Hi there. Where are you going today? The message was surprisingly casual. I was puzzled about how my best friend knew my husband. They weren't supposed to have met. I'm sure it'll be fun with me. I'm really looking forward to our next holiday. The flight arrangements are all set. Harry, you haven't flown much, so if you get worried, just cling to me, was one of their very intimate exchanges. This best friend, Anna, had been my childhood friend since our school days and had always been my best friend. Since I got married, we've lived apart and haven't been in touch at all. Even when I reached out, I never got any replies. I knew she had gotten married, though. Then, one day, it happened. My best friend's stepdaughter was in a traffic accident. I had known her from before. Her name was Lizzie. And my childhood friend had married a man who was divorced. Lizzie was his daughter from a previous relationship. His name was Tom. I had met him before. I didn't know why they contacted me. But I went to the hospital where she had been taken. It turned out my phone number was written in her high school ID, which is why I was contacted. I tried calling others, but there was a chance they wouldn't connect. Probably a witness called, saying, "Excuse me, are you a relative or family member? Could you please come to the hospital urgently? She's been in a serious accident." Wait, Lizzie? Which hospital are you at? I remember rushing to the hospital in a panic. Lizzie, Lizzie! When I arrived at the hospital, she was still alive. She hadn't lost consciousness when I got there. The moment I saw her, my heart started racing. I had never imagined something like this could happen to her. I hurriedly took Lizzie's hand and kept calling her name. Lizzie's relatives and family gathered, and the doctors attended to her treatment. All I could do was stand there. I didn't know what I should do. I could only pray for Lizzie's recovery. As time passed, I learned more about Lizzie's traffic accident. The doctor said, Lizzie was biking home from school when she collided with a car, suffering severe injuries. We're going to perform emergency surgery now. Every time I heard about the details of the accident or Lizzie's condition, my heart filled with pain and anxiety. Afterward, Lizzie's long surgery concluded, and she was barely hanging on to life. The damage was too severe. She might not have much longer, I was told by the doctors. The doctor said that her injuries were fatal and she might not live. It was shocking to me. I was determined to do everything I could for Lizzie and continue supporting her alongside my best friend, Anna. This traffic accident might significantly change my life. I have to face the uncertainty about the future, my responsibility towards Lizzie, and the complex issues with my husband. But for now, all I can do is hope for Lizzie's recovery. At least, Lizzie's condition wasn't as bad as it could have been. Lizzie, are you okay? Why do you have to go through something like this? I can't imagine you not being able to participate in the next competition. If Lizzie isn't there, who's going to bring the class together? Hey, why does my girlfriend have to go through something like this? This is ridiculous. Additionally, classmates, peers, and club members, as well as relatives, came to the hospital room. She was still breathing but wasn't fully conscious. Indeed, the hospital was filled with voices of sadness and anger. I wanted to cry too. Of course, I wanted to scream. Especially shocking was why Anna, her stepmother, hadn't come. Even if by marriage, a mother would rush over if her child was hospitalized. I immediately called her, but for some reason, I couldn't get through. Either her phone was on airplane mode or turned off. And when I emailed, I didn't get a quick reply. I felt a bit of anger, wondering what she was doing at a time like this. Lizzie's condition was grave, and she still hadn't regained consciousness. I also contacted Anna's husband, Tom, but it seemed he didn't know her whereabouts either. She was alive, but I was worried. For days after the accident, I finally got through to my best friend, Anna. I'm currently on vacation with your husband. Sorry. We've been having so much fun that I've completely neglected my phone. She bragged out of the blue. It naturally made me angry. And I wondered what was going on with my husband. However, she didn't yet know about Lizzie. There was no point in holding on to my anger. I was terribly worried about Lizzie's condition. I was concerned about my husband too, but Lizzie was my priority. I tried calling her cell phone several times. But not getting through only added to my anxiety. Sally, what's going on? Why have you been sending so many emails and calls? Anna's voice came through the phone. Do you know about Lizzie, Anna? Haven't you received any emails or calls from Tom? I asked anxiously. What? What happened to Lizzie? It's not about her, right? Anna responded with irritating words. Sally, do you need something from me? Like I said, I'm on vacation with Harry. Don't bother us. I felt a flare of anger. Yeah, well, that can wait. Just come back soon. Lizzie is in trouble. I wanted to continue, but my words faltered. I hesitated before finally revealing the situation. Actually, it's about Lizzie. While I spoke, my anger and disappointment at not being there for Lizzie as a best friend were about to explode. So what? I'm on vacation here. Despite Lizzie's critical condition, I firmly stated. Lizzie's been in a traffic accident. So, please come back quickly. According to the hospital, she hasn't regained consciousness yet, but her life isn't in immediate danger. However, she might still pass away. I might have seen a shocked reaction from Anna. However, Anna sighed deeply. Why are you contacting me about Lizzie? She'll be fine. I've said it multiple times, I'm on vacation right now. Please, don't bother me. What do you mean it's trivial? You're Lizzie's mother, aren't you? Going on a vacation at a time like this. And with my husband? An affair? Even if it's by marriage, you should be worried if your daughter has an accident. I can't understand why you're acting like it doesn't matter. Sally, who do you think you are? Lizzie is practically a stranger to me. She's not my blood relative. That's something for Tom to deal with. I never really wanted Lizzie. She was just a burden, thinking having Tom was enough. But now, I couldn't care less about him. I'm tired of it all. I'm planning on getting a divorce. Because I couldn't achieve the ideal life I wanted. And just so you know, I've always disliked you, Sally. So, please, don't contact me anymore. In fact, since our school days, I've been envious of you for being better looking, smarter, and more athletic than me. But the reason I hung out with you was that I had few friends. I hated feeling lonely. I don't need you anymore. Because I've found someone wonderful. In the end, Sally, you were just a safety net. Plus, Taking away someone important to you has been amusing. But let me say this one more time. Please, don't contact me anymore. Anna said before hanging up. I was devastated by her words. I realized the reason for the coldness after marriage was because of things like this. And I was shocked to learn that Anna, whom I always thought was my best friend, only saw me as a pawn. And my anger exploded. What the heck? Was Anna always such a terrible person? All this time, I thought we were best friends. To think she was false. I'm so confused. Such a despicable person, I wish I could send her to hell. That's what I thought. Where in the world is a parent who wouldn't worry about their child after a traffic accident? While everyone at school and the teachers were concerned, it was outrageous for a parent not to care. I felt a fierce anger towards my so-called best friend, Anna. After Anna hung up, I was left standing there, my heart in turmoil. I held my cell phone, attempting to call back several times, but there was no response. Later, I sat down and took several deep breaths. In that moment, I realized just how much my best friend despised me. The person I trusted for years, laughed with, cried with, shared worries, and supported, saw me as nothing more than a pawn. Anger and disappointment weighed heavily on my chest, and tears uncontrollably fell. As I reflected on my situation, my anger slowly turned to sadness. I was outraged by my best friend's indifference to Lizzie's accident and her inability to understand her position. At the same time, the loneliness and insecurity I felt in my relationship with my husband resurfaced. Why? I asked myself, repeating the question in my mind. Why did this happen? The reality that Lizzie's injuries were serious, and in the absence of my best friend, I had to support her alone, weighed even more heavily on me. But there was nothing I could do to change the situation. Not only did I wish for Lizzie's recovery, but I also felt the need to sort out my own feelings. To prevent being consumed by anger and sadness, I realized I needed to calm down. I sighed deeply and put my cell phone back in my pocket. Stepping out of the hospital for some fresh air, I resolved to face my emotions and become stronger to overcome this difficult situation. I had to act quickly because of Lizzie. Then, I decided to call Anna again the next day. In that call, I was shocked to learn that my best friend was in Hawaii. And she begrudgingly admitted she was there with my husband. I realized I hadn't been paying attention to my husband because I was so consumed with Lizzie's situation. Moreover, my husband talked about abandoning me. I thought it was a lie, but it was the reality. Sally, another call? What do you want now? Where are you right now? I'll tell you specially. I'm in Hawaii. Since I'm at it, I'll brag a little. It's hot here, unlike our place. Swimming in the sea is so much fun. Anna, to think you're having fun while your stepdaughter is hospitalized after an accident, it's the lowest of the low. You're failing as a mother. I don't need to hear that from you, Sally, who hasn't even had a child. That's irrelevant. Lizzie is in a serious condition. She might not last long. She could even die. Lizzie is that bad? Yes, so come back here quickly. If you don't return soon, you might never see her again. Are you okay with that? You might never see her again. Come back as soon as you can. I told you, I have to stay here for another week. There are no flights available. There are first-class seats, but I don't have that kind of money. I have no choice but to wait another week. So, I'm going to enjoy Hawaii without worrying about that. It's not like I can go abroad many times in my life. Who knows how many more times I'll get to do this. And Sally, let me show you something. Guess who this is? Harry? That's right. Your husband. Actually, I came here with Harry. Well, I told you before. And Harry is now mine. It seems like he's going to divorce you. Anna, what are you thinking? And what about Tom? Oh, Tom. He's just not interesting. Maybe it's because he's CEO, but he's too serious and honest. logical and a good person, but lacks excitement. That's probably why his previous wife left him. Harry is completely different. He's a high-earning employee with a great sense of humor. My current husband is just an ATM. I married him for wealth. Lizzie was just a bonus, I guess. But Sally, you're just an annoyance. Understand? This is my true self. Harry is now mine. Anna, you're truly a loser. I understand about the flight, but if it were really important, you'd borrow money from a bank locally and come home. If it were someone truly important, you'd do anything. I don't understand your nerve. That's it. I'm cutting ties with you. Tell Harry, too, that we're getting a divorce. At this moment, I was hit with a triple shock from my husband, my best friend, and Lizzie's accident. It goes without saying that it was a huge shock. I was so shocked that I couldn't say anything in response. I thought it was indecent for a mother not to worry while her daughter was in an accident. And of course, the fact that my husband was secretly conspiring with Anna was shocking. Shocked by my best friend's actions, I stood frozen for a moment. I didn't want to believe her words were true. Yet, I couldn't deny the possibility either. The suspicion that my husband and best friend were hiding something and betraying me behind my back assaulted my mind. Anger and sadness once again took over my heart, making me feel more isolated and desperate. However, I understood that Lizzie was my top priority. I felt it was my duty to wish for her recovery and support her. I resolved to do everything I could for Lizzie from the next day on. Even if her friendship and trust were betrayed, it was crucial to stand by Lizzie and support her now. As I took the first step towards Lizzie's hospital room, my heart was swirling with various emotions. Contemplating what trials she was facing and what kind of support she needed now. Entering the room, I saw Lizzie. She seemed not to have regained consciousness yet and was quietly sleeping. Seeing her like this wrapped my heart in sadness again. Yet, being by her side gradually calmed my feelings. Being there for her was the most important thing to me right now. While wondering what I could do for Lizzie, I looked around the room and found a letter placed next to her bed. Picking up and opening the letter, I found messages from her school friends written inside. The content was as follows. To Lizzie, hearing about your accident really shocked me. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I'm praying you'll return to the basketball team and make those shots again. I had heard she loved basketball. I believe the club activity was probably basketball. The team members must have wanted her to shine again as a basketball player. After reading the letter, my heart was covered in even deeper sadness. I was shocked and angry that Anna, who was supposed to be my best friend, could abandon her stepdaughter and start a new life. And my husband as well. Though I was deeply shocked, I had to consider my best friend's stepdaughter, which complicated my feelings. Feeling betrayed by both my husband and my best friend, I wanted revenge. It was outrageous for a mother to go on a trip to Guam during such a tragic time. She showed zero concern. And to think she was cheating with my husband. I was determined to get back at her later. But for now, I had to prioritize Lizzie. Then, a week later. Sally, I'm sorry to say that Lizzie has passed away, I was suddenly told. I couldn't believe my ears. Although I was prepared, it was still hard to deal with such chaotic emotions. Unfortunately, my best friend's stepdaughter had died. Just as the doctor had said, she didn't make it. Then, it was time for the funeral. I attended the funeral. A funeral without a stepmother. Among the attendees were Lizzie's school friends. Thank you for always being such a good friend. Be happy even in heaven. I'll live my life fully, also for Lizzie. Her school friend said these words. There I was, feeling absurd, not as a parent but as a friend taking her place. Afterward. Well, such a terrible mother had no obligation to attend the funeral anyway. I called Anna. To be exact, I had been calling her for a week without any response. Probably over 100 times. Of course, my husband ignored me too. I wondered why Anna and my husband had called me. Probably just to brag. Ah, Anna, you finally picked up. Lizzie's funeral was yesterday. That's irrelevant, right? You must be joking. She played basketball, she was supposed to be physically strong. It's not a lie. I attended the funeral in your place. Oh, well, thanks for that. Good job. Anna, you're not sad at all that your stepdaughter has died? Well, she was just my stepdaughter. Practically a stranger, right? A funeral and you're off traveling and cheating, someone yelled. Yes, I had deliberately put the call on speaker at maximum volume. I was aware it was indecent to do such a thing during a funeral. But it was the only way I could get my revenge. Many people had gathered around. Dozens of people could hear Anna's voice. So, her traveling and cheating during her daughter's funeral were exposed. The parents of my best friend. And some classmates and the homeroom teacher were there too. Could I speak on the phone, he asked, and I handed it over. Anna, you're in Hawaii, right? Really, what are you doing when your stepdaughter has died? Tom yelled. You're truly the worst wife and mother. Cold-hearted for not worrying about your stepdaughter. Plus, you cheated. Traveling and cheating, that's too insensitive. I can't go on with you. Sorry, but Lizzie and Tom were just burdens. It's great they're gone. Well, fine. I'll enjoy my time with Harry from tomorrow. Harry, huh? That's funny. We'll see about that. Harry is an employee at my company. Betrayed by a subordinate, and he's been absent without notice for days. I'm firing him. The funeral venue was buzzing. Enjoying a trip during the funeral? To Hawaii? I heard the mother wasn't attending. The worst kind of mother. Too insensitive. Normally, you'd worry if a family member had a misfortune. It's just too terrible. Since the speaker was audible in the venue, almost everyone could hear Anna's voice. Criticism of Anna's actions spread among the attendees. Unbelievable she's so emotionless. Too terrible not to attend her daughter's funeral. Cheating too? Unbelievable. The attendees were shocked and outraged by Anna's actions. However, Tom's angry voice spread through the crowd, causing further unrest. He entered the venue. He was visibly furious. Anna, I can't forgive you. His voice echoed in the venue, drawing the attention of the other attendees. What's she thinking? Amid the tension, Anna answered calmly. Sorry, but I can no longer pretend to be virtuous for you or Lizzie. Her words brought silence to the venue. The attendees looked on in surprise, focusing on the exchange between Anna and Tom. Despite the sadness of the funeral, I was glad to have gotten my revenge on my best friend and husband. I apologized to the people in the venue for using the speaker. I explained everything through the mic and managed to get their understanding. Later, I ensured I would receive alimony from my husband. Naturally, since he cheated, I had to get compensation. When my husband returned from Japan, I proceeded with the divorce, but he refused the alimony. Why should I pay you alimony? Because you cheated, obviously. That's no reason. It is. Don't you even know that? Shall we go to court, or will you settle now? I guess $50,000 is fair. I initially had a hard time making progress. I sought a lawyer. Naturally, I had the upper hand. So many people had witnessed the exchange between my best friend and me at the funeral. Plus, airport surveillance footage revealed the two of them together. To top it off, their plane seats were next to each other. Further evidence of them together in different camera footage also surfaced. I was certain I could win. In the final showdown, I managed to get alimony from my husband with the lawyer's help during the settlement. My husband, of course, resisted. Apparently, he had spent a fortune for Anna. Divorce is not an option, Sally. I truly apologize for the affair and for my poor behavior towards you. I blew a lot of money in Hawaii. I can't afford to pay alimony. So, let's not go through with the divorce. Naturally, the firing he mentioned at the funeral was justified. Sally, my apologies. Let's start over, he kept saying. What are you talking about? Are you stupid? I'm divorcing you. I can't continue with someone who cheated on me. I coldly abandoned my husband. I relentlessly demanded alimony. Though I couldn't get the alimony in one lump sum, receiving it in installments was satisfactory. I also succeeded in getting alimony from Anna through Tom. Despite it being indecent at the funeral, using the speaker loudly was the right move. I was able to get revenge on the worst mother, Anna, who didn't worry about her daughter, and my cheating husband, double revenge. Though I regret it for Lizzie, I plan to live my life fully, also for her part. Since moving to my new apartment, I've been gradually adjusting to my new life. At first, loneliness and anxiety overwhelmed me. But as I immersed myself in work, time seemed to fly. My freelance activities were going well, and I was slowly gaining financial stability. However, deep down, I still harbored sadness and anger towards my best friend and husband. Their betrayal and pushing me into a difficult situation were unforgivable, yet I recognized that I had also played a part in creating the situation. Still, I resolved to live looking forward. In my new life, I learned a lot. I realized the importance of valuing myself and the significance of being independent. I've also come to appreciate the importance of connections with the people around me and the value of supporting each other. Sometimes, I remember my best friend and husband, and the pain and sadness well up, but each time, I continue to find the courage to move forward. New friendships and relationships have become a significant support for me. Through these relationships, I can find new growth and joy. Time will heal my wounds, and my life will surely move in a positive direction. And in that process, I want to cherish myself and live positively. On the other hand, my best friend and ex-husband were living in an old and small apartment, bothered daily by the noise and smells from neighbors. Living together was supposed to save money, but they struggled with high utility bills and food expenses. Their meals consisted of instant noodles and bread, often feeling the effects of poor nutrition. Yet, they tried to encourage each other to keep going. But that was only at first. Now, they seem to have turned against each other, fighting and in a bitter relationship. Enough already. I can't take this life anymore. Anna's words were filled with sadness and anger. You should try to save a bit more. I'm doing my best here alone. Harry also showed his suffering and frustration. They each insisted on their stance, blaming each other, but without finding a solution, their daily life became more difficult, and their grievances toward each other only grew. They brought it onto themselves. They're strangers to me now, and since there's no obligation for me to help, I remain indifferent.